Hey, what is up guys? Guitar Rock here, welcome back to another Brown Dust video. Alright, so we have new updates, bunch of new cool looking stuff, Christmas, a bunch of awesome things for sure. Alright, so not gonna cover everything, just gonna do an analysis video. So make sure to collect your Winter Wonderland Ice Dice rewards. I did forget to claim some of mine during the past couple of days, which is not such a big deal, but ideally try not to miss it because most of the rewards here are quite awesome. Alright, so the 10 plus 2 Mercenary Recruit is only when you're using diamonds, and it's only applicable to the chance up for the new one or the custom chance up banner. It's not applicable to the Legend Recruit, so you can't have the 10 plus 2 going on right here, so keep that in mind. So that's where lots of players got mixed up and sort of make the wrong assumption that it works right here as well, so it doesn't. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the new Fantasy Circus Troupe. Alright, so we already know what to expect, right? So for Defender, we have Benshina. She's OP. Look at that, 14,379 HP by default at level 1. Holy, unawakened. That is insane. That is insane. Alright, so if you get her up all the way, she goes up to 21,358 HP. Pretty cool. 10% base stats of defense, 20% crit rate. Very cool. Alright, so attack is pretty high as well. Alright, so what is she all about? If you notice, she has this skill right here, which relies on her getting a graveyard on the enemy. Alright, so you have to form at least one graveyard on the enemy's grave for her to activate two of these skills, Taunt and Defense Boost. So this Taunt is really cool. It's a passive Taunt skill similar to how Walia, Leklis, Arwen's skill works in a way where they don't really take up a turn. Alright, so you don't have to, it's not like after normal attack, it's like immediately when enemy's grave is created. So very awesome. Obviously she has this Titan Strike similar to most of the other defenders as well. Cowley has this, Grand Hilder has this. Regeneration Barrier, so incoming damage minus 30%, max HP every turn times 1% healing, and of course we have the Perm News of Victory, which gives her insane amount of crit damage when graves are created. Alright, so this is in proportion to the number of enemies' graves. Very cool. Alright, so she's like the first few defenders that actually has the ability to deal insane amount of damage as well with this ability right here, crit damage. Alright, so if we look at her going up, you get more of this Titan Strike damage, 25%, 35% at plus 3, huge jump. Alright, so plus 4, we're gonna get more of this taunt at 4 turns as opposed to 2 turns. Alright, so obviously if you want to use her, at least 4 turns taunt. Alright, 2 turns does not make sense at all. Like a supporter to a warrior, like who does that? Like who does that? Come on. Ideally go for at least plus 4. Alright, so obviously it goes up even crazier, 6 turns at plus 5, 30% defense. Alright, so plus 6, plus 7, plus 8, I don't think it's a huge increase in anything. You do get some incoming damage reduction, 10% to 20% to 30%. So that is pretty cool. Defense still remains at a 30% increase when the grave is created. So do keep in mind that this is going to stack up on her base defense, which is additional 10%, which will give her 40% defense total. So it's doable for her to have 100% defense if you want. If you have good shield runes, 30% each, she will be able to get that 100% defense easily. But yeah, that's not easily, but you just need good runes, right? Alright, so going on to plus 9, crit rate alongside with crit damage. Very cool. Plus 11. Alright, so you get incoming damage minus 60%, plus 12. So this is a huge jump from plus 11 to plus 12. I would say ideally, if you want to use her, I would say go for plus 12 at least, because 30 turns, regeneration barrier over here, increase up to 60 turns. It's gonna be a huge thing. Alright, granted the healing every turn is not that high, but keep in mind that she does have this skill right here, crit rate and crit damage. She will be able to crit heal. So basically her healing is going to be pretty OP if she can crit every single turn and heal the insane amount of damage. Alright, so plus 13, that healing is gonna go even crazier. Plus another 2%, so 3% healing every single turn, going up to plus 14, we get 5% healing. Alright, so obviously at plus 15, healing when you eliminate an enemy, I don't think it's a high priority for her to get up to plus 15. I would say if you can get her to plus 14, that's good enough. Like, don't have to rush and get her soul gear immediately. She's not something like a Glacia, Dalvi or Christina that absolutely need that plus 15. So yeah, I would say Benshina is an OP character. If you guys are new to the game, probably she's going to be one of your best allies in terms of like just pure tanking capabilities and dealing some sort of damage. I mean, pretty decent offensive power as well to the enemies. So definitely I'm gonna go for her. A pull video is coming real soon. But yeah, Benshina right now in the current meta, she's gonna basically counter lots of interesting units. I would say Angelica is gonna be kind of an interesting one, the interaction between Angelica and Benshina. I would say Benshina is gonna counter Angelica most of the time if you go for shield runes, right? So hopefully that would help you to counter at least one of the meta units right now. I'm not sure if Dalvi can one-shot Benshina consistently. She might need buffs for sure, but that's something that I've yet to see. Obviously, with 3 buffs, Dalvi can do that easily. But if you are going first in the arena as an offensive formation, I think Benshina is going to shine quite a lot. Also, Guild Wars and upcoming. All of us have the tournament next week. I'm expecting to see a bunch of Benshinas. Hopefully we can see some counters along the way. That would be cool for sure. Alright, so I expect Benshina to be like the massive change, like a big huge change to the defenders game, and a lot of people are going to recruit her. I'm expecting her to have at least consistent, I'm going to say 60% use rate on all the servers. Alright, so that's my prediction. Alright, so moving on to the next one, we have the mage, and this is none other than Showman. Alright, so what is Showman all about? First things first, when you look at this skill, you know Showman cannot receive buffs. So he's like a suicide bomber that cannot receive buffs. This is not something that's uncommon. We have seen this before in something like Zakan. Alright, so that means you can ideally just place him anywhere. Does not need to be within the buff range. So what makes Showman unique or interesting? Far rare. Hits all the way back. Has the ability to nullify. This is a cool skill for sure. I still think this is a better skill on a warrior than magicians, but ideally 2 turns. It depends on his surviving capabilities, I guess. Alright, so this is a very cool skill. Explosion magic. Alright, huge damage. Insane amount of damage. And of course with this lasting crit damage boost, I think Showman is going to be an interesting one. If you go all the way to plus 15, look at this. Nullifier, buff prohibition. Look, 300% multiplier. Insane amount of multiplier right there alongside with this. Crit damage, 125%, 100% attack boost. Like, this is just all insane, man. This is insane. Alright, granted that right now, on paper, theoretically, he looks OP, right? All of these skills combination is insane. Looks extremely OP, but not sure how that will work in practical applications. I do think that he might not be actually that strong, because at the end of the day he can't receive any buffs. So all the numbers are, yes, ridiculously high, but cannot receive any buffs. So at the end of the day, maybe he's much more of just a slightly better version of a Chalkel. I don't know, we'll have to see at the damage. Chalkel is pretty insane with buffs and stuff, so I'm not sure if Showman will be able to out damage Chalkel. Possibly, but obviously we're gonna see maybe just a slight improvement. I don't expect like a huge big jump. Otherwise, I think more of a Guild Wars unit or perhaps if you want to try strategy in underground arena tournament, it's gonna be good right there. Other than that, I don't think it's gonna be used a lot in the arena because it's extremely squishy and extremely formation dependent, so positioning is very important. But it's definitely a fun one. I do think he might be able to one-shot some of the crazier tanks out there, including Cowley, perhaps Benshina as well, so we'll have a look at that. And yeah, that's my thoughts on all the current new units right now. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you do, slap that like button. I'll see you guys in the next one, so stay tuned. I'll have a pool video coming real soon. Have a nice day. Goodbye.